What's going on, everybody? It's me, Bob Phillips, and today I'm going to teach you how to improve your aim with a handgun. So, without any further ado, let's do this. So, you'd be forgiven to think that the first time when you shoot a pistol, it's going to be easy, you'll do fine, you'll be hitting your mark all the time, and then when you get your target back, you're like, oh my god, I'm a stormtrooper, I didn't hit anything. Well, that's no problem. We've all been there, no big deal. Today, if you listen to these very simple steps, I will teach you how to improve and hit the mark almost every time. This first step is paramount. So when you get into pistol shooting, you never want to anticipate the shot. You never, ever, ever want to do that, because most of the times people are either afraid of the sound, the flash just makes them flinch and cringe. So basically what you want to do is you want to make yourself tolerant of that. You need to, build up some sort of tolerance. That's all you got to do. So what I recommend is you hold out the pistol, get ready to shoot, get a nice sight picture, and what you do is you slowly pull the trigger, slowly, to the point where you don't even know when you're gonna actually fire, but you still have control over the fact that it does fire. And when that does, you won't even have time to flinch or to anticipate or blink, and that won't ruin your shot. You just keep doing that over and over and over again, and eventually you'll get accustomed to the fact that the gun's gonna go off, and it won't bother you anymore. You build up that tolerance, and that anticipation factor is gone. Now, if you don't know what I mean, the anticipation factor is basically when you have a nice sight picture, you're getting ready to fire, all nice and good. You pull the trigger, but you just think, oh man, you blink, your hand jerks up, or you drop the gun, and you look at your target, you're like, I didn't aim at the bottom corner, I aimed for center mass. That's what I mean. To eliminate that, just build up that tolerance, fire slower, to trick yourself into like, whoa, boom, first step. Second trick, this is a trick I learned a long time ago. It works very, very well. It's basically, you gotta simulate your front and rear sights. By that, I mean, you could do this anywhere. I mean anywhere. If you're in your house and you're like, you know what, I got some minutes to spare, you do this. So what you do, you take your thumb out like so, and you extend it. You extend your thumb, and what I like to do when I shoot is I like both eyes open. I keep both of my eyes open. I don't know, people tend to close their recessive eye and they keep their dominant eye open. Keep them both open. That's just a preference, but it works better with this exercise. Keep both eyes open, extend your hand with the thumb out like so, and you pretend the thumb is your front sight. Pretend the front sight is your thumb. When you do that, you focus on anything on the wall, like an outlet, a light, or like a lock on the door. You point it there, and make sure your eyes, both of your eyes open, can see with clarity both what you're looking at, and you could point your thumb at it. So I'll give you a little example of what I mean. So let's say this lock is what I wanted to shoot at, or at least practice with the thumb exercise. What you do is you focus on the thumb, or you focus on the lock, and you slowly rise your thumb up to the point where it lines up perfectly with that, covers it as if you were ready to shoot at it. That'll take you some time, it'll take you a little bit to get used to it, but it's worth it. It works very, very well. And then when you get to the point where you can actually see your thumb with absolute clarity, no blurry, no double vision, with both of your eyes open, and you can focus it, finite focus, pinpoint on things, then you introduce the rear sight simulation, which you take your two fingers like so, like the Three Stooges eye poke, like that. You hold it up, and you just ease it right under the thumb. See, I'll show much better. I'll just show it. Sorry about the sun in the background, but here's what I mean. You have the thumb, that's your front sight, and then you simulate that, front and rear sight, just like that. Make sure they're leveled, make sure that they're lined up perfectly, the tops are even. It'll look just like this. Now again, to demonstrate what I mean, I will show you exactly what you have to do. All right, let's say you want to aim for that little bottle opener or something. So you have your thumb and your finger like so. You aim for it just like that. Boom. All right, guys, I know full well that thing in the middle wasn't my thumb. I was honestly, no joke, trying for 30 minutes how to figure out how to hold the phone in one hand and do two hand. Well, just note that's what it's supposed to look like. And if you do that, if you practice, you just keep doing it to the point where both of your eyes are open, and you just, the two fingers and the thumb lined up just to simulate your front and rear sights with clarity, you will improve your shooting so much. All right, guys. All right. Next little tip and trick I recommend you use. It is also a tiny little preference, but, you know, this is a video after all. What I do is I look at my target. Let's say I'm at the range. I look at my target. I look at exactly what I want to hit. And I don't look through the sights as if they're binoculars or a telescope and think, what am I looking at? Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be focusing on. No. You focus on what you want to hit, and you bring the pistol up, and then you align the sights exactly to what you want to hit based off of your initial focus. Not, like I said, you don't just start from ground zero and think, all right, these are basically my telescopes. I'm just going to look. Oh, there, bang. That's not how I do it. That's not my approach. If that makes sense, good for you. If it doesn't, I'm really sorry. I'm not articulate. But if you get it. Moving on. The last major thing that can affect your pistol shooting is basically, frankly, your finger placement on the trigger. Now, what I mean by that is if your finger is too far this way over it and you pull the trigger, the gun's gonna just move a little bit that way. If it's too not on the trigger, your gun's gonna move that way when you pull the trigger. Does that make sense? Absolutely not, because I'm not an articulate guy. I'm not the Webster Dictionary dude. So, I'm gonna have to show you exactly what I mean. So, let's see that. Let's see it in a practical application. All right, so let's just say I'm aiming for that shed. And I rise the pistol up like so. Gotta make sure you get a nice sight picture. Boom. Oh, okay. It's a little blurry, I'm trying to focus. Okay. If my finger is too far forward on the gun and I pull the trigger, it's gonna move that way, very so slightly. And if it's also a little too close, it's gonna move that way. You have to make sure it's just in the middle. So when you pull the trigger, I'm sorry, just trying to make sure it lines up for the camera. So when you pull the trigger, it doesn't move. If you were confused by my explanation on that, let me show you what I mean. When your finger's on the trigger, pistol. Like so, if it's too far forward like this, when you pull, it's gonna move that way. If it's too close like that, it's gonna jerk this way. Make sure your finger is just right on there, just perfectly. And I wanna say as a disclaimer, because, I mean, that's an airsoft gun. I'm only using it as a demonstration because I'm not dumb enough to bring a real pistol outside in a suburban neighborhood. Just in case anyone out there is saying, oh, it's stupid, red flag. Yeah, that's not a real pistol, but it works just the same. I'm just saying that for legal reasons, because in this climate and day and age, people are just nutty about that. So, that is it, my friends. I'm Bob Phillips. Do what I say, and your shooting will improve greatly. And besides the, minor tips of always hold the pistol properly, always have the correct stance, just remember, do what I say, you'll keep shooting straight. I'm Bob Phillips. Schwam.